Hey folks, this is Sam Roberts.
Hey, this is Kim Mitchell.
This is Hannah Georges.
This is Matt Mee.
This is Derry Graham from Honeymoon Suite, and you are listening to...
You're listening to
The
Hulk Caesar Show.
Welcome to the Hulk Caesar Show. I am your host, Hulk Caesar. My illustrious co-host, Newfoundland songbird Emily Malloy, is once again away from us working on Hudson and Rex. She might not be back until August, and that's a total bummer, dude. Fortunately, standing in for Emily tonight is my guest co-host, Gracie. Gracie, thanks for filling in.
Hey.
Tonight, we're thrilled to welcome someone who's hitting the road and the airwaves with energy, heart, and a whole lot of swag. She's the new host of Your Summer, Your VOCM, bringing the good vibes to hot spots across Metro St. John's.
All right, so with a journalism diploma from CNA, on-air chops, and a real love for connecting with people, she's already made her mark through volunteer work, photojournalism, and award-winning storytelling. And now she's taking it to the streets with VOCM.
It's the unstoppable Abby Butler. Welcome to the Hulk Caesar Show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
We're going to chat with Abby about her role at VOCM, her background in journalism, and what she thinks makes the best swag.
Ooh, I love swag. A little later on, we'll double dip, and our new friend and guest co-host, FEMINOTICA, will perform live in our Hot for the Moment studios high above Posey Row in downtown St. John's, Newfoundland. So exciting. Abby, you're the new host of Your Summer, Your VOCM.
Yeah.
What's it like stepping on the road and taking the station out with you?
Oh my God. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. There were so many emotions. I was afraid, I was excited, I was scared. But once I got out there and you kind of get that first day over with and you get the feel of it, it's so much fun. I get to drive around. I don't have to pay the gas.
Nice. What kind of car do you have?
A Tucson.
Ooh.
The whole top is glass sunroof, so I feel so cool driving. So I'm like, I'm
Pretty fancy.
cool. But yeah, no, it's great. It's really fun. There's so many new experiences already, and we're only on, I think, like week 3 or week 4.
Wow, summer just started.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, Abby, you've been popping up kind of all around the metro area. So what's the kind of response been like from the public?
The response from the public, God, I'm trying to think now. Well, I'm going around, so if you've been following the social media, I'm going around with a little stuffy. It's Gusty. It's the mascot of the Canada Games. It's a codfish. So when you ask about the public reaction or the public response, I think back to the kid who I was talking to a few weekends ago who I was giving some swag to, and I gave him a sticker that had Gusty on it, and I had like the stuffed Gusty out, and he looked at the sticker and he asked if it was me. So I don't know if that was just a one-time thing, or maybe the public opinion of me is that I look like a fish. Who knows?
Maybe they just think you embody the Canada Games.
We'll go with that. That sounds a lot better. That sounds so much better.
What's a typical day like on the Summer Road Show? Is it fun and chaotic as it sounds?
Yes, absolutely. You get in, you load up the rig, and you just go between being on the road and, talking to people. And of course, there's always going to be those unexpected interactions throughout the day because you don't know who's going to show up. You don't know, how many people are going to stop and, oh my God, I want swag, or I want like a coupon for Marie's. And so there's so many unknowns. So it's go, but in the best way possible.
What would your day look like? Like pick one of your days last weekend and kind of run us quickly through it.
So last weekend on Sunday was a really fun day. I started my day down at the Fluvarium because they recently opened an axolotl exhibit.
Okay.
Axolotls like blew up all over online, like TikTok, Facebook.
They're very cool.
What are they?
They're called axolotls. They basically, help me here.
They're like fish, but they have legs, and they kind of look like a tadpole. But then they got like little ear things that are like frilly.
I'm terrified of sea creatures, so fish with legs is like my nightmare.
They're cute. They have really cute faces.
They are so cute. Like the two that I saw, one was orange and one was pink.
Ooh.
They're so cool. There's like so many interesting facts about them. My favorite personally is the fact that they can like regenerate any part of their body, whether it be like their legs or even parts of their brain. I remember actually one of my first days at VOCM, I was talking to Candace Udall from K-Rock. She has an axolotl.
Wow.
And she was telling me about, it's really funny because I don't know if she meant like when they're being owned, like in homes or out in the wild, whatever. It's basically the fact that if they don't like the environment they're in, she said that they can choose to grow their legs just so they can leave.
Oh, that's a good skill.
Like, just like if they're unhappy, they just be like, all right, pop,
They're
pop.
adaptable.
I guess my question is, if they can regenerate, if you cut it perfectly down the middle, would you end up with 2 of them?
I feel like maybe that would be too much damage at once, but I don't know. Maybe we should study if we can grow one from a foot.
All right, you started there. You started at the aquarium.
God, yes. Fluvarium. Where did I go after? Oh my gosh. So I left there, went to the botanical gardens because they were doing dog days, which is, I don't know if it's the last Sunday of every month or if it's every Sunday.
Motorcycle show down here.
Classic.
Get used to it. Sorry, continue.
No, it's fine. God, I should know this. It's either the last Sunday of every month or every Sunday. They allow dogs in the gardens, which is really nice. So stopped by there, saw lots of furry friends. That wiped out all the treats I had in the Tucson, so they're gone. What else did I do? I left there. I went down to Torbay, kind of my stomping grounds, hung out at the Commons. Splash pads open down there, so the place was packed with kids.
Nice.
Left there. I went to Airport Heights, actually. The Red Hat Society here in town was having their 15th anniversary, so got to go hang out with a bunch of ladies, have a dance.
Nice.
You know.
The red hats, sounds like they wear the red hats, right?
Yes, they wear the red hats. They have a queen and a duchess, and I mean, those girls know how to party.
Yeah,
Let me tell you, I was there for like an hour, and they know how to party for 4 o'clock in the day.
Amazing.
And I left there, and then I went up to Signal Hill.
Amazing.
Hung out, enjoyed the views, gave out some prizes, and then
Sounds like a fun day.
busy, but again, in the best way.
Amazing.
Yeah, sounds like you got a lot of full days. So
Yes.
So I know also you have on-air experience. So how does like being in the studio kind of compare now to being like out in the community?
It's different, but also very much the same. I think, when you're in the studio, obviously if you're live or not live, that's going to greatly affect things. But I mean, when you are live, you kind of just got to go with how things come at you. You kind of just got to
Totally.
roll with the punches, and there isn't a pause and a re-record. It's one take and you go. And it's the same thing when you're out in public, and you're on the road. You're dealing with these people like
It's probably even more because you're people all around you, like live audience.
you have people right in your face being like, "You look like a fish," and so it's just you kind of got to roll with the punches because you don't know what people are going to say, you don't know what they're going to do. So it's a very big question mark, I find, is the best way to put it.
Amazing. Well, we'll have more from Abby Butler after the break. From her appearance on the program, it's Janelle Chantil with The Days Go By on the Hulk Caesar Show.
I watch the days go by. I see the light fall from your eyes. I feel the thunder, storms in your mind, and I'll taste the bitter that hides deep inside. So I'm watching this road alone. I'm traveling farther away from my home. When you're done with me, I hope you discover the beauty and the pain. When I was your lover, I seen your face too tired. I've seen you struggle to swallow your pride, and I've been your burden, your bridge and a stone. But how could I know? How could I know? And I'm walking this road alone. I'm traveling farther away from my home. When you're done with me, I hope you discover the beauty and the pain. When I was your lover, in my fighting heart screams, get out of here. Yeah, I'm fighting these demons. Oh, I'm screaming, why, and I realize the time has gone by. And you're walking this road alone. You're traveling farther away from your home. You don't mean, hope you discover beauty and the pain when I was your lover. And you walk in this road alone. You're traveling further away from your home. You don't mean, hope you discover the beauty and the pain when I was your lover.
The Hoaxeaser Show is presented to you by our friends at the Resource Center for the Arts at the LSPU Hall. Coming on Saturday, July 5th, the Itty Bitty Skitty Committee presents Q2, Pride and Acquisitions. They're gay and in blazers, and they are acquiring new friends. Comedians Jana Gillis, M.K. Morris, Gwen Rumbold, and Veronica Diamond do some sketches from their show Team Building Exercise, and invited an amazing lineup of improv, sketch comedy, and musical guests to perform with them, capping off the night with an improv bucket jam. Check out tickets and more information at www.lspuhall.ca. We're joined this evening by the hosts of Your Summer, Your VOCM, Abby Butler.
Hi.
Abby, so you have a journalism diploma from CNA, and you have also a strong background in photojournalism. So what first drew you to that world?
Well, it's pretty interesting. I never planned to go the journalism route. I did 2 years or about a year and a half at MUN, and it wasn't for me.
Just like general studies, or?
I was doing a geography major, and I was focusing on German and folklore as well. So, and I really liked what I was doing. It's just the environment was just not the learning environment that worked for me.
Yeah.
My brain just couldn't do it. So I was very lost because I'd been telling myself since early junior high that it was MUN or nothing.
Well, that's how it's always been in Newfoundland. I grew up in the 90s, and it was that same way it was. It was like you're expected to get out of high school and go right to MUN.
Yeah. And so I had been telling myself that for such a long time. So when I was in MUN and started to realize, okay, this isn't what I want, this isn't what's working for me, that was terrifying because, I mean, again, at that point, pretty well for as long as I'd been thinking about careers, it started at MUN.
Yeah.
So when I finally hit the breaking point, I was like, okay, I can't do this. And I actually reached out to my sister because she experienced the same thing. She went to MUN, that's what she said she was going to do, and then it didn't work out, and she didn't like it. So we were looking at other options, and I'll never forget, she sent me the listing from the CNA website for the journalism program. And I can't remember her exact words, but it was something along the lines of, "You never shut up, so this is great for you." And
I've heard that before.
And I was like, ouch, you're right, but ouch. And the rest is history, really. From there, I kind of just, I took a bit of a leap of faith, didn't know what I was getting myself into, and here we are.
Amazing. You've already done some award-winning work. What kind of stories speak to you the most?
I really like the stories. For me, it's either the stories where, you feel good at the end, or, I think a big thing for me that fueled, what I did when I was an intern with NTV, and what fueled a lot of my schoolwork was just thinking about the things I wished I had seen in the media when I was young and impressionable, and just first getting access to the internet, I guess. Because, I think about now how easily accessible media is and internet, especially for very young people.
It's true.
And there are so many things, I think back to my struggles as a child, and growing up and wishing, okay, I wish I saw that representation in the media. I wish, things could have been so different had younger me seen that other people were going through the same things and other people felt the same things. So the stories that I try to put out there, are I like the lighthearted stuff, but when I was on air with NTV, I did a story about eating disorder care here in the province. And that was just so important to me because it's not something that's talked about enough even now. But again, back when I was younger, it wasn't talked about at all. So as someone who was dealing with an eating disorder, I felt completely alone.
Yeah.
So my goal, I guess, is just to hopefully, even if it's just one person, have someone be able to watch, whether it be a video or listen to me on the radio and say, wow, someone else gets it.
Awesome.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's a really good thing to be doing for sure. I think just drawing attention to like those kinds of things that we don't talk about. You know?
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's for a yapper like me, it's great.
For sure. So you're also known for your like kind of community work and whatnot. So how do you think that shapes your approach to broadcasting and connecting with listeners that way?
Well, I've been volunteering in the community since a very young age. Me and Gracie, that's how we met, was through a group called Allied Youth.
Allied Youth.
It's no longer a thing, sadly. But basically the best way to describe it for anyone who doesn't know, it was a group for youth by youth.
That's a slogan.
Is it?
It is.
Oh my God.
Nice, you nailed it.
Yeah. I'm so proud of myself right now. It was basically just this youth empowerment, youth leadership group. And it was, getting out and helping the community, but also learning life skills. And, that's where a lot of my first experience in various, organizations and interactions and volunteering started. And like I said, that's where Gracie and I met because there were different posts all throughout the province. I was in post 1051 in Torbay. Gracie, you were...
Crescent 1163.
There you go. And of course...
Is that in Dildo?
Yeah, well, I'm from Dildo. School was in Blaketown. But,
Yeah, I grew up in Whitburn, so...
Oh, okay. So you probably also went there.
Quite aware of the area, yeah. We played some basketball there for sure.
Cool.
But yeah, so I mean, those experiences, especially because, I know some people who when I'd say, oh yeah, I'm in AY and I do volunteering, it'd kind of be like you volunteer type thing, like
volunteer.
Wow.
And, maybe for people who their experience and their first impression of volunteering was just something they had to do, maybe that's why they felt the way about it that they did. But I know for me, and obviously, I can't speak for Gracie, but maybe you feel similar in the sense that we experienced volunteering with friends, with people that we gotten close with. It was presented to us in a way that we didn't see it as, oh, you have to go do this. It was, we want to go do this. This is going to be so much fun. And it was fun. And so for me, when I started to realize that, okay, I'm having fun doing this, I'm seeing whether it was right away, seeing the reaction, say, if we're in the food bank and we're putting food up on the shelves, seeing everyone's faces just kind of light up as they see the shelves fill up, or see posts later on online from people after we've, done a fundraiser or something, just seeing how people responded, I guess, maybe, for lack of a better word, that just... There was something about that just I wanted more and more and more.
It's addictive, eh?
Yes, it is. And I wish more people felt the same way, like making other people feel good. It's such a good addiction.
Totally.
What advice would you give to a teenager who hopes to follow in your footsteps?
Oh my God, that's a loaded question. Well, it depends. Do you mean in terms, say, of like them wanting to be volunteering or them wanting to go into media?
Maybe more in media, maybe.
Media. I think the biggest piece of advice I could give is to stay true to yourself. That's something, I'm still learning as well, but throughout schooling and through, the time that I spent before getting into this job, you're going to have people telling you all sorts of things about how to present yourself, how to be, things about yourself that you should portray to the world, things that you should keep private. And so there's a lot of navigating, trying to figure out who you are, which almost sounds weird to say, but who you are in the media can differ from who you are when you're not on the air.
Yep.
Yeah,
and so I think the biggest piece of advice I can give is just to stay true to yourself. You got to remember who you are, who you value, what your morals are, and just who you want to be. And I mean, I'm very much of the mindset, and I've always been very open about this, is that I am never going to throw away my morals for a career. I am true to who I am, and I'm going to stick with that. And if it works in a career, great. And if it doesn't, then it's not where I'm meant to be.
It's interesting you say that, because we had Amanda Muse on the show last month, and she talked a lot about that, about how she had to learn that there was media Amanda and there's at home Amanda, and what people said about media Amanda, what they weren't talking about at home Amanda. And then my sister, Ward 1 City Councilor Jill Bruce, was on the show after her, and she said that really spoke to her. That's kind of how she feels as well about it, is you got to have in the politics and the media eye Jill, but then Jill at home, and you got to realize that when people say bad stuff about that, they're not really saying bad stuff about this, you know?
Exactly. And that's a big thing too. And that's something I'm experiencing firsthand right now. I went to a Pride event a few weekends ago. And of course, with topics like that,
Of course.
there's lots of people online who are going to say various things.
Of course.
And so, I mean,
It's noise. That's all it is noise.
it is. But I mean, I remember the first night, like the night after the event, or the night of the event, I should say, when I first started seeing the posts on social media, I called Greg Smith crying, and I said, Greg, like, what did I get us in trouble? Like, what did I do? And he said to me, it was like, it's not, they're not coming at you. They're coming just at the station, I guess, for lack of a better word, and they're coming at the things that they don't understand.
Yeah.
And so that's another great piece of advice. And I almost feel like I can't give it because I'm still trying to take it as well. But it's like you said, they're not coming at you. They're coming at the content.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that a lot of the time, the people who posted it are the ones who have to take the
They don't know it, because they don't have the brain power to do it better. Crazy.
Yeah, and I guess when you're kind of like the face of those things happening, it's like that's what they attack. 'Cause, like,
Luckily, our show's tragically unpopular, so nobody cares.
Well, I'm on here now, so
Oh, there we go. We're going to have Pride on here next week, so.
Exactly.
So looking ahead, what do you think, Abby, is your kind of next steps in your media journey?
I don't know. And I say that with a lot of confidence and a lot of optimism. When I interviewed for the Roadshow job, they asked me the same thing. Where do you see yourself in? Well, the question is usually 5 years, but Campbell looked at me and said, so where do you see yourself in 6 years? I was like, specific.
Specific.
But I said the same thing. I don't know. And, maybe that makes me seem like scattered or not put together or something. But I say that so confidently because there are so many opportunities in media, and I'm so open to seeing where things take me. Yeah. So, I have myself kind of in this place where I've established, okay, I'm good with photography. I'm good on air. I'm paving a bit of a path for myself, but I'm paving it as the experiences are presented to me. So I say I don't know because I don't, and I'm happy for that because I'm excited to see what's presented to me, what's thrown at me, and see where it takes me.
Amazing. Well, where can folks follow you and find your VOCM Roadshow on the web?
So the best place to follow and find all the fun VOCM, good vibes, summer stuff is on any of our socials, 590 VOCM.
That's a new one, right? 590 VOCM?
Yes.
Yeah,
so
like
we
that.
are on TikTok. We are on Facebook, Instagram. You'll see a lot of my face. Sorry about that. But I'm trying to find a way to present content that, looks great for the sponsors, but is also entertaining. And the entertaining content usually just me looking like an idiot. But, it's
that's my bread and butter.
590 VOCM.
Excellent.
Follow along.
Awesome. All right, well, let's take a quick break and we'll set up for tonight's musical performance.
Yay!
It's now time for tonight's musical performance live from our Hot for the Moment studios high above Posey Row in downtown St. John's, Newfoundland. Tonight's musical guest is originally from Dildo, but now based right here in our fine city. With her exciting dance pop project, our guest co-host Gracie Reed brings lyrics that are playful and bold. As her music aims to inspire self-expression and fun, she calls it FEMINOTICA. Thanks so much for pulling double duty here tonight on the Hulk Caesar Show.
Yeah, no problem.
What do you have for us first?
So this is my first single that I put out under this project, and it is called Love Thy Neighbor.
Ooh, let's hear it.
All right. Love thy neighbor. So I just moved into 304 and I caught a little glimpse of the girl next door. She walks like an angel on a movie screen, cruising in a cross-track in faded jeans. Ask her on a girl's date to hit the town. She says, I know all the spots, I can show you around. Catch off at 9. Come hop in and we'll go for a drive. Think I should sign a waiver. Mom said don't get with strangers, but I like the taste of danger, so I say love thy neighbor. I think her SUV is a limousine, and I want to see the roof and the passenger seat. Windows fogging up because she's so divine. I love it when she calls me up to give me a ride. So we get back home to 304 and stop in the hall leading to my door. Pause for a second and I catch her eye. I tell her if she likes, she can come inside. Think I should sign a waiver. Mom said don't get with strangers, but I like the taste of danger, so I say love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor. Should I have signed a waiver? I'll think about that later. I'd like to taste her danger. I think I love my neighbor. I think I love my neighbor. I think I love my neighbor.
That's definitely the most action-packed song we've ever had on the Hulk Caesar show. Amazing. Love it. Well, that was amazing. Tell us a little about FEMINOTICA.
Yeah, so FEMINOTICA is just kind of like a kind of dance pop project. It's some of the songs are like a little more like, I don't know if you call it like punkier. Like this one, like Love Thy Neighbor, is just, it's just funny.
It's
I don't
fun.
know.
Super fun.
Yeah, I just kind of sat down and I was like, that would be a crazy thing to say. And I did that until I had a song.
And that's the entertainment business.
Absolutely.
But I mean, look how it worked out.
Yeah, I like it. I
Fantastic.
think it's
love
fun.
it. I love it.
Fancy song.
Amazing.
So you are putting out your first EP this summer. Very exciting, very exciting. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so I'm trying to do my first EP for the summer. I only just released Love Thy Neighbor on the 25th of April this year. So
Ooh,
it's
hot off the presses.
yeah,
Stream
so
it.
like as of
Stream
now
it.
it's
Do
like,
it.
It's like 2 months old ish as of like now.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it's still fairly new. I've been playing music since I was like a kid, but this is the first time that I've done like this type of project.
I would just like to point out that the first time I experienced music from Gracie was an accordion. So to go from Gracie with an
Yeah.
accordion to Gracie being like,
Amazing.
love thy neighbor. It's like the glow up.
Amazing. I grew up on Weird Al, so I'm a big accordion fan.
Yeah. Yeah, the accordion was my my first instrument, so it's like yeah, but I've expanded and done a lot more fooling around with different things since then. But yeah, so the EP is I'm trying to get it done for the summer, and I have the instrumentals pretty much done. I'm just gonna be like recording vocals. So yeah, but hopefully it will be out soon, and we'll have 5 or 6 FEMINOTICA songs for the summer.
Amazing. Do you make most of your beats on computer or?
Yeah, so I use Ableton Live. I don't know if any music nerds out there will be like, I know Ableton. I also do. I love it. So I get like kind of sometimes I get samples. Sometimes I just like make my own beats from like synthesizers and MIDI and stuff. Or I might record something and then just like manipulate that recording.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's like
Super
arts and
cool.
crafts, but sound.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
No.
such a good way to put it.
Isn't it? Amazing, like arts and crafts with sound is what you said. That's amazing. I like that. Now, as I said, I grew up in Whitburn, not far from your hometown of Dildo. What's it like being from Canada's hottest little town?
I think it's pretty awesome. We have a Hollywood sign.
Yeah, yeah. Were you there for all the magic hubbub that happened when?
I was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very crazy, especially because like, you know, the news like, you know, broadcast it all and Jimmy Kimmel, but it's like it was funny just being in the small town and like all the people that I know just like up the road and they were just like here. But I will say when Garamo got screeched in, I played the jig on the accordion.
Wow.
If you look on Jimmy Kimmel, there's one photo of
Amazing.
me
I love
playing
it.
the accordion.
Amazing. We'll try to find it and put it up on the screen here.
Like 5 minutes of fame.
Amazing.
So when we talked about your music at first, you know, it's definitely a toss up between empowerment and fun. So when you're writing, where are you drawing that inspiration from, and where do you know is kind of okay, the line between empowerment and fun? How do you get both in there? Walk us through Feminotica's mind.
I feel like for this project, because this is also like not the it's kind of like the second project I'm currently working on. I have like a little like indie folk pop band called Grey Scout.
Nice.
And I feel like that's where my like just like sad, heartfelt poetry lives. But with Feminotica, I was kind of like, you know, I can still be serious sometimes, but I just want to make people dance. So sometimes it's like the next song I'm going to be doing is one that's kind of we'll say serious, but I think Feminotica is more just meant to be like fun, and I'm just kind of, I don't really think about the lyrics as like, not that I don't think about them as hard, but I think there's like a lightness that's just fun, and I'm just like, I can do whatever I want. I can say whatever, put a good beat on it. It's all cool. It's just fun.
Yeah.
That's, you know,
It's
we all
awesome.
need a party sometimes.
We sure do. Party never stops. What would you say to a viewer who might be hesitant to truly express themselves?
I think, honestly, like, I do think, you know, you do have to go through a process of, you know, just kind of finding yourself, getting comfortable with these things, because, you know, also putting yourself out there, you know, you face risk of rejection or being judged and feeling awkward and embarrassed and all those awesome human emotions that feel great. But I think, like, you know, with time, I mean, I'm kind of at a point now where I'm just like, you know what? It's either I do the things I like and enjoy and just take whatever comes with that, or I don't. And I think it would feel worse to not do things I like at this point. So
Whitley, you're almost 50 and you really don't give a fudge.
Thanks to our friends at the Resource Center for the Arts at the LSPU Hall, we have time for one more live performance. Feminotica, introduce the next song.
all right, so this next song is it's still dancey, but it's a bit different from the other one. It's actually in French. 'Cause,
Ooh.
I don't know.
The language of love.
It's about having fun. So I was like, you know, I'm going to write a French song. So the title of it is Noir ou Blanc, which translates to white or black, which is, it's kind of like the song is a comment on, you know, like black and white thinking kind of thing. And like, how come we reject things we don't understand? And that's the kind of response, you know? And why do we do that? So
Excellent.
and
Love
and getting a little angry about that, I guess. I shout a little, not like screaming, but you know, it's,
Do it.
you'll
Scream.
see it. I don't know.
Scream at the
French
haters.
anger.
Amazing.
Cool. All right, let's go. Noir ou blanc, correct ou non? Noir ou blanc, correct ou no? No, 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 no. Noir ou blanc, noir ou blanc, no, 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 no. Je ne comprends pas pourquoi c'est blanc ou noir, juste le bien ou les mains sans aucune compréhension. Qu'est-ce qui vous fait peur? Est-ce que je vous fais peur? Noir ou blanc, correct ou non? Noir ou blanc, correct ou non? No, 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 no. Noir ou blanc, noir ou blanc, no, 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 no.
Well, that was amazing. What do you think of that? That was fantastic. FEMINOTICA. Now, where can folks find you on the World Wide Webs?
I am on Spotify if you want to find my music on there. And also Instagram. And my username is It's FEMINOTICA. And I'm also on TikTok under the same name. It's FEMINOTICA.
Amazing. I never really used the TikToks before. A little past my time, maybe.
What the hip kids are doing.
The TikToks.
The TikToks.
So now it's time to play everyone's favorite game of questions. Caesar's casual conversations with tonight's guests, Abby Butler and myself, FEMINOTICA. Woo! So we have refilled the commemorative ET, the extraterrestrial hat with questions. Choose one and answer it as much as you'd like, or ask to draw another one.
Now, as we've mentioned in the past, we were given 100 questions by the AI, which we went through. And then we asked the same prompt for 100 more questions, and they were pretty bad. So then we went to it and asked for 100 more thought-provoking questions. We used those 1 week. It was a disaster. They were far too deep for this program. So then we said, give us a little bit of silliness with it. So now we're on the 100, a little bit more silliness wrapped in questions. So what you do, you take a question, you read it out loud, and then you give a brief answer, and then we'll both give a brief answer, and then we'll go around.
Okay.
And if you don't like it, you can throw it on the floor and pick a new one.
Okay. What's your favorite type of weather and why?
Ooh. What do you think?
So this is going to be very controversial. I don't know if I should say this.
Controversy creates cash. That's what they say.
I just started my job. I just started. I like everything, but there's something so nice and cozy to me about the feeling of snow.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh God, how dare she say the S word? But it's like, just picture it. It's like, and it's specific though. It's that snow, like, when it's like the really thick, fluffy pieces and they're falling really slow, like that, just like looking outside, just like being cuddled up in like, there's something about that just makes me feel ironically warm and cozy inside. But I don't know. I love it. Please don't hate me. Don't fire me.
What do you think?
I do also like snow. I feel like I get the kind of peacefulness, and it makes everything so quiet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I also
She
do
says
like,
as a bike goes by.
well, let's see. They're not out in the snow, are they?
There you go. There you go. You don't hear them in winter. That's true.
No, exactly.
Good point.
Yeah. That, and I also like rain when it's really warm out. Like today,
Yep.
we had a huge downpour.
Crazy.
And it was enough to kill you with heat. If I wasn't working, I would have been out in that walking
The
around.
smell, though. It's the smell.
Someone in the parking lot at my work today left their sunroof open when that rain came, so they got their car quite wet.
Well, that's not awesome.
I like fall myself. I'm a fall person, like late September into October when it's not quite cold out, but it's the chills in the air and you can smell people getting their wood stoves going and stuff like that. I really like that. All right, would you like to draw a question? And if you don't like it, you can throw it on the floor. I just swept up all the questions a couple days ago.
What's something you've done that you never thought you would?
Ooh.
I'm trying to think. Honestly, I mean, well, going on topic of today, I feel like the lyrics in Love Thy Neighbor. I didn't think I'd be saying that to people, but here we are.
There we are.
I never thought I'd be doing that.
And what a huge success.
So I would say that's something. I never thought I'd be writing and pop music in general, but on a, more genuine note. Like, I think also like my voice, I feel like I have like a kind of weird range for like a female voice. Like a lot of the songs that I listened to growing up, like, Katy Perry and Taylor Swift and all that, like they have really high voices compared to mine.
Yeah.
So I think for a long time, I kind of felt like I couldn't do pop music. So I feel like now, like, I mean, we see people like Billie Eilish and like other just, I don't know, women in music that are just kind of like breaking the mold. And I'm like, not that they haven't before, but it's like from what I was used to listening on, like, the radio all the time.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I feel like there's more room to just kind of experiment,
Awesome.
So it's cool.
Were you, Abby?
Do you want to answer first? Because I don't know.
What was the question again?
What's something you've done that you never thought you would?
That's a hard
Yeah, it
one.
is a hard one. I guess I went back to school a couple of years ago, which I didn't really ever go to school. I went to MUN for a pathetic semester and then moved to BC. I went to computer school, developed to programming school. The government paid for me, the gracious government paid for me to go to school. So I went to school and actually it was kind of fun.
Nice. Okay, well, stalling did nothing for me. Probably working in the media. I mentioned earlier talking about, being younger and being sort of in that preteen age where, dealing with a lot of struggles and everything. And I think so much of that just turned me for the longest time into this quiet, shy little, like, I felt like a turtle that was always in its shell, but still always had that very social side inside of me. But I think for a long time, I probably, like, if someone had said to me, oh yeah, in X amount of years, you're going to be on the radio every weekend, I would have laughed in their face. But here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Everybody's doing what they want, what they never thought they'd be doing, and they're doing great with it.
Yeah.
So fantastic. All right, I always throw questions on the floor, so I hate these stupid questions. What's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in nature? Oh, boy. I saw the Northern Lights up in Whistler once. I was at a wedding in Whistler in BC, and that night the Northern Lights shone on the back of where the decks all were on the hotel we were staying at, and we all got our own little private shows. So I'd say that was probably it, I guess. I lived in BC, so I saw lots of beautiful things in nature up there. It's a very, very beautiful, beautiful province.
Nice.
Abby?
For me, the same memory comes to mind whenever someone's like, oh, like memorable moments in nature or anything like that. I say that like it's a question I get asked a lot. A few years ago, a friend of mine at the time, she loves whales and had never seen whales before. So I took her down to the Cape in Pooch Cove, like the old helicopter pad. And we went down one evening, and it was like something out of a movie. It was the most gorgeous sunset I think we'd had the entire summer. And we're just sat looking out over the ocean, because down there, that's all you can see. Everywhere you look is just water. And so you had the sunset reflecting on the water. And after we had been there for a while, whales started breaching.
Amazing.
And I think just sitting there, watching the sun reflect on the water, seeing the whales jumping up, but also at the same time, like seeing the pure raw emotion on her face of, oh my God, like I will never forget that moment.
Awesome.
I think for me, I feel like this is just kind of like a pretty ordinary thing, but I think sometimes the beauty of nature is just those little everyday things.
Yeah.
But I think if you're ever in the woods and you're in the kind of forest where the peat moss is just, that is the floor, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just spongy and it's soft, and then the light comes through the trees and shines on it. And
Pretty familiar out from where we grew up, eh? Lots of that out there.
Yes, like that was in my backyard,
Yeah.
which I think is also tied to it, you know? Like
Yeah.
I grew up with that, so I think that's really nice.
Amazing. All right, well, that's about all the time we have for tonight. Abby Butler, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
A big thank you to FEMINOTICA for premiering a brand new song for us. That was such a banger. I don't even know. I'm going to be listening to it. I take all these songs, of course, and put them on my phone. I have like over 100 songs on my phone that have been performed here, and that's all I listen to. So I'll be listening to your song many times.
Thanks for having me.
She tells us to love thy neighbor. We love thy
We
FEMINOTICA.
love thy FEMINOTICA. All right, here's your, we'll get you to, here's your guest gift first. It's volume 3 of our zine. It's
Thank you.
It's scenes from my high school agenda from 1996. That one features when I skipped school in 1995, went to the mall with a disposable camera and told people at the stores that I worked for the Telegram and I was taking pictures, and they all posed. And for some reason I developed the pictures, put them in my agenda, and there you got them. And then there's a little scan thing in the middle of the book there that will give you a little online app that has a bunch of songs that my co-host Emily has performed on the show.
Cool.
And then we'll get you to sign the flyer after too, and we'll put it on the old autograph wall here.
Neat.
That's my face.
Amazing. All right. Well, you got something to say? Hulk@hulkshow.com. For Abby, FEMINOTICA, the absent Emily, and myself, I'm the Hulkster. Thanks for watching The Hulk Caesar Show.